She doesn't want to stay for the party? We got Krispy Kreme!
I play the tape!
Do they like eating chalk?
Do they like candy corn? Probably.
Ew.
Those are the same type of people. The world, Alisha Marie is ready for a relationship. However, she's also down to have fun.
I know.
Beep, beep, beep. Take me now. It's okay. I did it.
Don't get that twisted. Hinge? I'm like, what's his name?
Damn, he is hot.
Yeah. Do a quick little internet sleuth search because I am a fabulous detective.
Ramble.
Pretty basic. Huge shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. Hello and welcome to your favorite podcast on the internet. Pretty basic.
Yes.
I'm your co-host, Alisha Marie.
And I am Remy Cruz / Miss Remy Ashton.
Welcome to season 5. If you are new, we've been around for a little bit. You know, like I just said, season 5. This is episode 2. And the day that this comes out, it'll be the day after Valentine's Day. So if you are watching, we love love.
We love love. I would put Valentine's Day in my top 3 favorite holidays.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Even though I know it's like not a real holiday and just made up by companies to make money, I love Valentine's Day.
I like it. You know, I'm not in love, so maybe that's why I don't love it. But I love love. I really love love.
I love love. I also just love the month of February because it's my birth month. And also just, I love February. And I love Aquariuses. I love love. I love pink. I love red. I love chocolate.
You love me.
I love you. I really do, though. I just like always vibed with it.
I have to say, though, nothing beats Valentine's Day when you're in elementary school and you bring your little Valentine's grams and you have to like give them to everyone.
I actually kind of hated it.
Really?
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. But I always just remember the rule, though. You always had to bring one for everybody.
Yes.
Which I do love that rule, and we need to keep that rule. But it was like, actually, you know what? I take it back. I loved going to Target and picking out whichever one I was going to get for the year.
I think one year I had a Scooby-Doo one. I remember loving Scooby-Doo.
I think I had like a Hello Kitty, always like a princess, something pink. Yeah. I'm sure those still are a thing, right?
Totally. Well, obviously in elementary school you have that, and it's like a party. I have to say, fight me on this. Comment below. This is the question of the day for the comments. I absolutely hate the hearts.
Conversation hearts?
Conversation hearts.
Oh, yeah. I think almost everyone does.
Oh, my God. I have so many people who, like, love them.
Ugh.
They're like, oh, my God.
Do they like eating chalk?
Do they like candy corn? Probably.
Ew.
Those are the same type of people.
You're so right.
I'm like, I hate it.
It's so bad.
The sweet tarts, though, love.
I will take a sweet tart.
Love the sweet tarts. The actual, like, chalky conversation heart candies, I hate them.
I think it's like Brax or something. That's the brand.
I hate it.
You know who also probably, what other candy those people like? Jelly beans.
Ew.
Yeah.
I hate jelly bean. That's such a Valentine's Day. I would rather have chocolate.
I also agree. Do you remember in Valentine's Day and like in classes, we would make a box, like you'd bring a shoe box, then you'd decorate it so you could put like your Valentine's in it.
Yes.
So cute. I remember this one girl would always leave for all of our classroom parties. Her name was, oh, maybe I shouldn't put her on blast. Just kidding. But she would always leave. I totally remember her full name.
Like, her mom would not have her go to school those days?
Her mom would take her out. She'd go to school, and then, like the last, 30 minutes was, like, the party or hour or so. Like, she'd come pick her up. And I was in 2nd grade. I was like, why is she leaving all the time? Like, we're having Krispy Kremes. You don't want any Krispy Kremes,
her mom was like,
girl?
you don't need to be here.
She was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh.
I know. I didn't know until, obviously, I got older and learned what a Jehovah's Witness was.
Oh,
but I was like,
God.
she doesn't want to stay for the party? We got Krispy Kremes.
I could see being like, can I have her donut? Like, can I have that? Like,
we got pizza. Someone's bringing,
God.
Jaden's mom's bringing In-N-Out.
Oh my God. Fun fact. I remember my friend in high school was dating this guy who went to a different school. You know how that was like drama? I was like, oh my God, she's dating
But she got to go to the other prom.
Yeah. But his family was his family was Jehovah's Witness.
Interesting.
And I remember her being so like, oh my God, I've never like, I don't know, like, it's his birthday, but like, do I just not say anything? Like very, like, just,
Yeah.
So it was just really interesting.
Did she say something?
She didn't get him anything.
Yeah.
But she was like, is that sad? Like, you don't like, and he was like, no, it's normal to me.
What he knows, yeah.
Like, you know?
I had this very vivid memory of the girl because we had like glass windows, and I remember her getting walked out, and it was like the Halloween party of our second grade class. Murph was in the class too. And I remember being like, oh, she's not going to stay. Like, she's missing out on the fun.
Aww.
But I understand.
Oh my God, 1,000%. I wish, I mean, as kids, we were like told more about different like religions that way. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because I'm sure you were like, what's up with her?
Well, I mean, also it's just like, anyways, back to my candy. Like, I was in second grade. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, makes sense.
Makes so much sense.
Anyways, we really bring it all to this podcast.
I hope she's well.
Oh, she is. I check in here and there.
I hope my friend's ex is well. She didn't marry him. She married another guy.
Did she go to his prom though? Do you remember that was like you were so cool if you went to, if it was so cool if you were either a freshman or sophomore who went to prom, because my school only did junior and senior prom. Or that was really cool because like you were hot. No, you're good. But what was cooler, going to a different school's prom.
Oh my God. For us, freshmen weren't allowed to go, but if you were a sophomore and got invited, you were allowed to go.
Did you guys get breathalyzed at your school dances too?
Oh no, we left room for Jesus.
That's right, I forgot. My school was like kind of wild. They're like my school is known for being kind of crazy.
I'm so jealous. I wish I had that
breathalyzed at every single event all the time. It was kind of nuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I've never had to do a breathalyzer.
Really?
We should do one on PB.
You just blow.
I know. You just blow.
You really do. It's just like, and then it goes beep beep beep.
I've just never done one.
0.0, baby. Always.
0.
Not anymore. Under 21, obviously.
You were that kid being like, I
0.
bet it's 0. 0.0. Another one.
My school also did a ton of drug tests all the time.
Oh my God.
Or they would do drug tests, but they also had drug dogs come in
we had
all
drug dogs
the time.
randomly. And I remember, this is so my personality. I would be so nervous for no reason. Like I had nothing. I had nothing in my locker. But when I heard that there were like dogs coming and they would like bring them through, I'd be like, I'd be anxious. I was like, you have no reason to be anxious.
No, same. I would have like a little travel size Advil and I'd be like, it's time. I'm going.
It's the same energy as like when you're going through customs, like when you're traveling and like you're terrified that they're
gonna
like
orange in your bag.
That you one time we were going to New Zealand and Remy had an orange in her bag, and obviously you can't bring.
Let me preface this. We were flown first class by a brand, and you bet your bottom dollar in that free lounge, I'm gonna take everything I can. I stuffed it full. Snacks, produce.
It's free?
Drinks. Yeah, it's free. You can take as much as you want. So I took some produce and I ate some of it on the plane, and then I remember they handed out those little like declaration sheets of like, what are you bringing into the country? And I filled it out, not thinking about the fact that I had maybe some left in my purse and I didn't know. And we're walking out of the customs, and all of a sudden I get flagged, and they pull me into this room and they pull the orange out of the bag, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'll throw it away. I didn't know.
You're like, take me now. It's okay. I did it. You're like, I didn't mean to lie, but I don't have any.
I didn't know
any food.
I remember asking too. I was like, can I just throw it away now? And she's like, no, because, and she held up the paper. She was like, you put here that you didn't have anything. You lied. And I was like, and I had to pay a lot of money. Wasn't it like $500?
It was, because you were like, those 2 oranges were $250
yes,
each.
Yes.
I forgot you had a fee.
Which I understand agriculturally wise, but I should have just ate them on the plane.
Well, I shouldn't have forgot about that.
I didn't know.
You should have shared.
Or I shouldn't have grabbed as many in the fucking airport.
Don't be greedy.
That too.
So
Jehovah's Witness.
Oranges. Valentine's Day. So this is your 3rd Valentine's Day with Cal? 4th?
4th.
Oh my God.
4.
How's it feeling?
Like a walk in the park.
This whole thing, you have a lot more you get to do in your life.
I mean, like, it's fun, and I do love Valentine's Day, but more for everyone else.
Really?
Like, it's so fun, and I love going to dinner. I actually eat that shit up. Like, sitting elbows next to someone, like, getting elbowed in the face by the person next to you because the tables are so close together.
Oh, my God.
Being charged overly priced food that normally, like, yesterday was, like, a third of the price. I eat that shit up.
No,
I love it.
I hate it. I hate a fixed menu.
I love it.
I hate a fixed menu. I also hate when I'm so close to the table next to me that I can hear their conversation.
Yeah.
And I even get secondhand embarrassment. Like when I'm listening to a first date, I'm like, oh my God, like I don't want to hear, because like that's my worst fear, to be on a first date at somewhere where you're right next to another couple. And it's so like, you're just, someone's hearing everything you're talking about.
I love it.
But why do you love it?
Sometimes when waitresses come over, I like to pretend like Cal and I are on a first date and I go, so like, where are you from?
Okay, but that's different with like your lover, like an actual first date. Like,
I don't think it's weird.
I hate it.
I also just like asking people questions. So to me, I treat first dates, or I used to, as interviews.
What were like your go-to questions? Yeah. Did you have a go-to list?
No, just kind of like whatever would pop into my head, I would just say it. I will say, what?
I was thinking, did you ever say one that like was kind of random or weird?
Probably. Probably most questions
like,
I
have
ask
you ever
are.
been convict?
Yeah. Oh, but good question to ask on a first date.
What's the song?
Convict music.
Yeah.
I wanna run it and run it up on the floor.
You last night.
Yeah. You last night. No, I can't think of any questions specifically. Cal did tell me on our first date that he wanted to start a podcast with his roommates, though.
What'd you say?
I was like, I have a podcast with my best friend.
You're like, oh my God.
You should totally do that.
I do that too.
I did. And that was a long
that.
time ago. That was like 4 years ago almost.
Oh my God. Well, let's dive into relationships today.
I agree.
Because like I said on the last pod, I recently have revamped my dating app profiles.
Yes.
As much as and I know people listening agree with me, as much as I really want to not meet someone on a dating app because I hate small talk. I hate that. I feel like I get like
turned on.
I just like I like meeting people in person more. And I know everyone says that, but I really mean it.
Might I just say, I understand, and I know this has been your cross to bear for years, that you don't like the apps and blah, 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 blah. Okay, if you're not going to meet him on a dating app, then like you are probably going to meet him, let's say at a bar, most likely. Here's food for thought. You might like him in person, yeah, sure. But then imagine what their dating app profile might look like. Maybe you would have hated them.
Oh my God. So I was just told the opposite. Basically, I was talking to my friend and we came to the realization that there are men on dating apps who I'm really like, I'm extra picky on there. And I'm like, okay, like, what do they look like? Where they go to school? Do they seem funny? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like the whole list. I'm like, X. Like, it's so easy for me to X someone. However, he was like, okay, but what if you met that guy in person? And would you be like, oh my God, he's a doctor, da, da, da. Like, would you be so much easier, like, persuaded that way? And I was like, oh my God, I think you're right. Which it does go both ways, because there could be people, like you said, who you meet in person and you would never like swipe on their dating app. Like, there's so many levels to this, right? So he helped me realize, and I was like, you know what? I think for years I just never really knew what I've wanted, or I just haven't been real with myself, where it's like, obviously I'm like, do I want a relationship? Do I not want a relationship? And I feel like I can confidently say now, yes, the world, Alisha Marie is ready for a relationship. However, she's also down to have fun. And that, I have to say, means like there's a lot of layers to that.
I was gonna say those are two very different entities, and don't get that twisted.
And so the other day, I'm like, let me go get a facial before our Pretty Basics season 5 cover sheet. Go look at it on Instagram. I'm getting a facial with one of my favorite people ever, Sarah Ford. I am obsessed with her. She is so talented. She's like helped my skin a lot. But I'm just going because I'm like, I have a photo shoot. Like, let's go. And she is with this guy who she met where? Hinge. And I was like, damn, this is my sign.
And they have like a whirlwind romance, right?
And they're like in love, like whatever. And I was also talking to her and she was like, oh my God, I would have never thought like we would really like hit it off. Like, I was shocked that I hit match on Hinge, right? But she basically told me this and it has changed my life. So I want to say she's about early 30s, right? So in the last episode, I mentioned how I talked to my friend. It's this whole story basically of how she's been attacking dating apps, or how she attacked dating apps after years of the same situation where like she'd sleep with him in the first 3 dates and then they would like talk here and there, they'd have fun. And then like 2 months in, it kind of went nowhere and he would just kind of like distance. She said that happened time and time again, where she was like, what is happening? And clearly I'm the problem because I'm the common denominator in this. She's like, no. She was like, so I need to do some like reflection. But she's like, okay, like what keeps happening? She was like, you know what? I feel like I need to have filters. And I was like, filters? What do you mean filters? She was like, I decided to start, instead of just being like, hi message, like reaching. And I know there's so much on, like, if your For You page is the same on TikTok as mine, it's like, it's about dating and like masculine energy, female energy, like feminine, divine energy, like all this different stuff, right? Of just like dating and like what attracts each other and like all that kind of stuff. So she was telling me how she has these filters. I was like, please explain, what are these filters? She was like, I came up with a list of essentially non-negotiables of what she wants in a guy on a dating app. And she was like, I'm such, like, she's a very driven, career-oriented person. So she was like, if I want them to be assertive in real life, I am not going to message them first to get drinks. Like, if they don't, she was strict. She had it very specific. So you can do it as specific as you want or not. But she was like, if I match with someone, they have 24 hours to message me. If not, I know they just like getting matches and they're not on here for the same reasons I am.
Ooh.
So it's very much being real with yourself with like, what do I want? Because if you do want a relationship, you also want someone who's like ready for that and pursuing that. But if you want to just have fun, you can match and it doesn't matter how long it takes for them to message you back. But clearly their priority isn't to like really connect with people. They're just like kind of like, ooh, like, oh my God, I got likes. So, like, we've all been there.
Instant validation.
Me just being like, oh my God, I feel so hot now because I'm getting that validation. Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. We all know that Pretty Basic Hero loves going to some festivals, even some concerts. I feel like I've just been obsessed with live music.
Oh, yeah.
So much more than ever.
Well, I mean, we've literally gone to Coachella with SeatGeek before. Mm-hmm. We will definitely be buying, we've talked about the Eras Tour, but Taylor Swift tickets we will be buying on SeatGeek. SeatGeek is truly amazing, you guys. I use it anytime I buy tickets for literally any show or any festival, and it's just amazing.
There are so many artists on tour right now, and you always get a good deal when you're with SeatGeek, so I feel like I just trust it without having to think. Also, SeatGeek wants to get you a good deal also, so when you're actually on the app, they help you spot good deals. Look for the green dots. That means it's a good deal, and red means it's a bad deal.
Also, there's a buyer guarantee, which is obviously so important when you're buying tickets. So every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee, and SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps.
And we want to help you get to your next concert. So use our code BASIC for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code BASIC. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Then the next one was he had to ask her out because she wanted that in a man. I was like, love that. But she also said, she's like, I'm not doing drinks. I'm not doing coffee. You are taking me out to dinner. Like, you are taking me out to a nice dinner. She's like, I'm not wasting my time on like just drinks or whatever. So they would have to offer like, hey, like, are you free for dinner specifically? And then she'd be like, yes, I'm busy this week, regardless of what her week was. But then she would say, I'm free next week, however. So she always made sure it was like a week in advance. Then she would wait for him to follow up a few days before, just like Cal did. And she wouldn't go out of her way to like be like, hi, like, are we still on? Or like anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the little things, right? Okay, and then this last thing was the #1 thing that like really stuck with me that she said that I think a lot of girls struggle with, and guys, but like that 3-month mark where it's like, okay, are we a couple? Are we not? DTR. I don't want to scare him away, but I like want to see where this is going. Her approach was mind-blowing. She literally said, around the 3-month mark, she sat him down and was like, hey, I am not trying to get into a relationship anytime soon, but I'm also not trying to waste either of our times. So if you don't know what you want by like 3 months, then we can still be friends, but like just that.
I feel like that's very standard.
No.
I feel like a lot of girls do that.
Oh my God, no. The difference is a lot of girls are like, hey, what are we? Like, hey, like, do you want a relationship? Instead being like, hey, I know what I want. Like if you don't know what you want by then, that's not attractive to me. And I like, we can be friends, but we can't fuck anymore, essentially. But you have to be willing to like actually stick with that, right?
Yeah.
So she was like, I was just so matter of fact, like, I know what I want. And like, I'm not trying to rush you or me into a relationship, but I'm not trying to waste my time. Like, I'm really not trying to waste my time here. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like that flips the narrative of like, oh my God, like, so do you like me? Am I good enough for you? Like, do you want me as your girlfriend to, hey, I know what I want. And like, if you're about to waste my time, I don't want you. She said her boyfriend was like, I've never met a woman like you. Like, I never met someone who just knows what they want. And it was so attractive to me. I was like, damn, which is crazy. Cause I feel like you said, I feel like that's what girls do anyway, but something about making it like, hey, if you don't know what you want, then I don't like that. obviously she really stuck to that and like stuck to those filters and wasn't like, oh, well, he said he was busy. Like she was like, okay, no, unmatched. Okay, I don't want you. Like really just like actually filtered.
Not keeping them there just to keep them there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think having that self-realization for her to be like, okay, I know what I want and I'm going to accept nothing less than that was the hard part. Cause obviously we all like a little validation. We're all like, oh, like we can make excuses for people or like, just like, I don't know. It was just so inspiring because I was like, damn.
It's just hard because when she said at the 3-month mark, the thing of like, I'm not trying to get into a relationship yet. The guy could easily also just be like, well, like stringing you along. Like I feel like so many guys would just do that also.
Totally. But that's why she said, so after 3 months, we can still hang out and be friends, but that's it.
Oh, that wasn't at the 3-month mark. When
No. That was like, sorry if I made that confusing.
Oh, I thought you said at the 3-month mark.
No.
I was like, I feel like girls do that a lot.
Oh my God, no, sorry. I'm so sorry. At the 1 or 2 month mark, she's like, hey, I'm having a lot of fun. I really like you. But in 3 months, like if you still don't know what you want, then I would just want to be friends.
Love that. Okay. So sorry. I got very confused.
No, I'm sure other people, I might have said that. I'm sorry. But to clarify, I loved that because I feel like it just switched the narrative of like, hey, don't waste my time later.
I like a deadline too.
But you have to stick to it. That's what's
For
hard.
sure,
Because obviously if he comes along and is like stringing you along, like, hey, I'm sorry. Like you have to be so adamant of like, no, sorry, you had your chance. But like, I hope you know, I loved it. I loved it.
That also comes though with getting fucked over by guys time and time again. Like she was burnt out. She's like, fuck this. I don't need this anymore. So she had the ability to put that feeler out there and stick with it.
Yes.
In the beginning, I'm sure she wouldn't have stuck with that because you're just like not used to it yet.
You know, and you don't care. You're like, hee, I don't care. It's fun. Like, whatever.
Exactly.
So, but I thought it was so interesting. So what I have acquired, and I swear it's already working, is my filters aren't as crazy as hers because like, I don't know. But the one I've really stuck to is I'm like, they have to fucking message me first. Like more than anything, which obviously if you don't know on Bumble, if you are a woman, you have to message first. Like that's how the whole app works. So great when I had social anxiety, but now when I'm wanting an assertive man to swipe me off my feet, you know, just pick me up, you know, dinner, you know, I'll take coffee. That's my filter. I'll do coffee. I'll do coffee.
Or drinks.
I'll do drinks.
I like drinks. I thought more so than like not getting I didn't care about getting a free dinner. I was just like, drinks are easy and casual.
Yes.
In and out.
Yes. And then, yes.
You can get like a drink and a little snack, a little appetizer.
Totally. So that's where like those were her filters. Like you had your filters, and I'm like, oh my God, I can like personalize them. So I'm fine with drinks. I'm fine with coffee. I'm fine with dinner, but also dinner does scare me.
I also think dinner is a lot. I also don't think you necessarily need to have like strong filters like that. Like when you're messaging someone and you are intrigued to even go on a date, like it feels different than just messaging someone that you're not intrigued to go on a date with.
Yes.
So I feel like just listen to your intuition also.
Yes, I think that comes back to realizing like, what do you actually want? And she made me realize like, oh, like seeing their behavior shows what they want. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I think like, I'm trying to think back to like when I was on the apps a lot. If I were talking to 2 different guys, it'd be so easy for me to tell like, I want to actually go on a date with this person and not a date with this person. Just based on conversation and how they speak, what their interests are. So like, I don't think you also necessarily need to have like the craziest filters unless you're looking to get married like she was.
Exactly. So I feel like that's just been very interesting this past month of talking to different people in relationships and seeing what they want and what they didn't want, and realizing I think for years, even though just online, like I've just like never loved online dating, I'm like, okay, but like figure out what you want from it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So yeah, I've been feeling very hot, and I love when they message me. I love it.
Good.
Love it.
So maybe we like dating apps now.
I mean, I think I just had really bad photos because I'm like, wow, why are we getting so many more matches? And I'm like, oh.
What did you do to change your photos?
I mean, now I think I have more options of photo that are like chill, cute photos.
Personality pics.
Yes. And I think, and this might be very niche, but a lot of my photos were influencer-y.
Like glamour shots?
Yeah, like either super glam or for an event or even just to post, you know, like Instagram, like, I don't know, like, especially a few years ago, even a year ago, where I feel like now I've gotten better at just like, especially with photo dumps being so popular, I have a lot more chill, candid type photos, which I really like. And I think it's been easier to put those photos up.
Yeah, I'm sure less intimidating.
Where before
for guys
I felt
too,
like I had to take shoots for my, you know,
For your dating
for the
app?
apps. I'd
Oh
be
my
like,
God, that's so funny.
I'd be like, oh my God, I need more casual type photos. So I feel like any girls who need to make over their dating apps, I would just like tell your friends like, hey, when we're going out, can you just like snap some candid photos or like just less pressure instead of like, oh my God, I need a hot photo for my app.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or nothing too posed. And yeah, a little personality one.
A friend group one,
Mm-hmm.
but the friend group where you look like a picture where you look really good in that friend group photo.
My favorite is there's been a handful of times over the years where we would take a photo together and you're like, oh, that's so good for the dating app. You're like, oh, wait, let me look worse. And I'm like, oh my God, that is a friend. Like that is
It's
a
true.
friend.
You have to look a little better, just a smidge.
My favorite also though is sometimes guys' profiles look so similar. I'm like, which one are you? You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But then there'll be a photo of two guys and they're both hot. I'm like, okay, whichever. Like as long as
I'll
one,
take either.
either one.
D, all of the above.
But that was the recent dating app advice I got.
I love that.
I really like it. Figure out your filters.
Yeah.
Tell me your filters in the comments.
Very interesting.
But I feel like Cal kind of did that. Like you said, you're like, he followed up and you were like not into it really. I don't know. I like that instead of.
I loved that. That was like so different. But then also I think what I was saying is you kind of know. I wouldn't have even agreed to a date with Cal if I wasn't even slightly interested in him.
Oh, totally.
So you know what I mean? I feel like that also, just go with your gut sometimes of like, do I want to go on this date? Do you not want to go on this date because you're scared or because you're just lazy or because you're nervous or you've got other things to do and you're making excuses? Or do you not want to go on this date because you just feel like you're not going to like the guy? I have a friend actually who is going on a date this weekend. She all of a sudden texted me just a single photo of a man. And I looked at him and I was like, I remember this guy. And so I was like, oh my God, I forget his name, but I remember. She's like, oh yeah, he was from our past, but he was like dating a mutual person, but I just like saw him a lot. Anyway, she's going on a date with him this weekend, or she had a date planned, and his dating app pics were definitely not up to date from the Google search that we did more recently. Like the photo definitely was from like college, which we were in college like a decade ago. So they're just a little outdated and he definitely looks different. And the photos we found were on his like works website.
Oh my God.
So that obviously is like very up to date for the most part. And he looks very different. So she was like, fuck, like, do I go? Like, I don't really know. I feel like I'm kind of getting a little catfish maybe. And I was like, honestly, maybe that like work photo wasn't the best photo of him. You really never know. But I do think she should go and just get practice.
Knew him.
Yes.
I think that's fine.
Not like we knew of him. We weren't like friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, is someone else using his photos to catfish her?
No.
Okay.
No. It's definitely
It's
him. But I just think he's just obviously using like, and guys love to use outdated photos, I will say.
Well, they're like, oh, upload 4 photos. So they take any photos and put them up.
Yeah.
Like,
from
their
like Facebook
strategy.
and from like the family barbecue in 2013.
Yeah.
But yes, I told her, I was like, I think you should still go because first of all, you never know. The photo might just not be the best photo of him. He might look better in real life. Or he might even look exactly like that photo, but still, like you said yes to the date, you should honor it. And then also, like, it's great practice. You never know. You might really like him. You might not, but at least you're putting yourself out there.
I will say, as someone who, like, overthinks everything, one thing I would like about that situation is you could easily brush it off like, oh, I just wanted to catch up. Like, I know we had, like if it goes bad. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be like
well, not enough. We've never spoken to him. We just know. Yeah, we just know of him because he dated a mutual.
Oh my God.
But regardless,
I feel like they should go.
I told her to go and she was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to practice. I said, that's amazing.
Our other friend
for you.
did get pretty catfished.
Yes.
Speaking of catfished, I talked about this in my Vlogmas. Poor guy. You know,
Not poor guy.
No.
Our friend?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, poor our friend.
Poor guy.
Not poor other guy.
I don't understand. And like maybe there's something to this I'm not understanding. I don't understand why people lie about their age, specifically on apps. In person's even worse, actually. Just lie about
Did he lie about his age?
Okay. He lied about his age.
I thought he just lied about the way he looked.
Well, his photos were like daddy. Like I saw the profile. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, he is hot.
Yeah.
Blue eyes, like strong jaw.
The photo of him in the forest, like lumberjack.
Oh my God. I was like, damn, this guy is hot. Go on this date. You're going to have so much fun. Oh my gosh. He arrives to the date. He's like sitting and like this guy comes up to him and in his head, he's like, there's no way this is him. There's no way this is him. There's no way. But it was clearly him. He just looked about 20 years older. And our friend was like, honestly, this is the first time I've ever been catfish. I feel so bad, but I don't want to just get up and leave. Like, that's weird. So he had a drink with him.
Yeah, so they sit down at the lunch and already our friend is pissed off, obviously, like in a not great mood because he's like, why are you lying to me straight to my face? And the guy's acting like everything's fine. He's talking about how rich he is, how successful he is, how he has like this private jet and all these sorts of things. And so our friend's just trying to like eat lunch, get through the lunch, eat the lunch. And then he's ready to go. And then the guy is like, oh, like, let's stay. Let's order like a nice bottle of wine. Like, oh my God, let's get this nice bottle of wine. And like orders a really expensive bottle. Our friend is like, I mean, I'm not going to say no to some free wine. So he's like, sure. So he gets a glass of wine. Again, the guy's just going on and on. I'm so successful. I do X, Y, and Z. I have so much money.
Also, our friend's a talker, and he was like, I couldn't get a word in the whole time. I'm like, that's how you know. That's how you know.
And so then when the check comes, our friend was like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom because obviously he's going to pay. He asked me out and he won't stop talking about how rich he is.
Yeah, helicopter, whatever.
And he comes back to the table and the check's still there. And he's like, okay.
Which like, okay, vibe it out.
And then the date goes, the catfish date goes, so you want to split this? Like, how do you want to split this? And our friend obviously was like, what the fuck? Like, yes, I'll split it. He's not going to make it a big deal, but he was obviously already not happy. And then that didn't make it any better.
I just can't imagine ordering something that's like $200-$300 and then expecting someone to split it.
Yeah, that too.
I would be like, hey, I ordered this. Like, it's fine. Like, obviously he still drank it, but like if you order, I don't know. There's just so many thoughts to this thing.
It's like one thing to ask someone out on a date and then expect them to split the bill. Because I get that sometimes that happens, like and it's totally fine and everybody has their own opinions on that. But that's fine. That's fine. That's one thing, but that's fine. Another thing to order a $200, $300 bottle of alcohol without really asking if they want to share it and expect them to split it. And then it's a whole other thing to catfish. So all these
and the
together.
bragging about the money.
And the bragging of the money. So then that all happens and he calls me and he's so upset and he's just like, I got catfish. I've never been catfish like this. And so I'm like, what's his name? And I do a quick little internet sleuth search because I am a fabulous detective, might I add. And I'm like scrolling. It really wasn't even that hard. So anyways, I'm scrolling. I'm like, oh, I found that he was arrested. I found his mugshot on Google search.
It just shows how like you could like, and you know what? Benefit of the doubt. We don't know what happened,
Well, no, I do know what happened. No, I know what happened and he should rot in hell. I'm not going to say specifically, but rot in hell.
Well, on that note, be safe on the dating apps. Put your filters on. And you know what? It just shows how you really don't know someone from an app.
I also agree. And I don't think there's anything wrong with our friend being like, before the lunch start. Like, I don't think that he had to go sit at that lunch also.
No, but it's just so awkward. Like I would rather endure an hour of like awkwardness than it be more awkward being like, hey, sorry. Like,
really?
This is not what I expect. Even if I wanted to, I don't think I could verbally like basically say like, you don't look how you like I thought you like.
Well, I don't think you have to say that either. I mean, I think you can if you really want to be bluntly honest, but you can also just be like, hey, I decided like I can't do this today, or I
guess I could be like, I'm not over my ex.
I'm so sorry plans. Yeah, I think you can say something, and then you don't have to sit there, and then also you don't have to pay $200.
I know, like
for what you didn't want to be at.
Genuinely, please, I need advice. If you've ever been in this type of situation, like how do you get out of it without making it awkward? Is that even possible? Like. Obviously, I don't want someone wasting their time or money, but I just like, how do you say like, hey, I'm so sorry, like something came up, like, I
just think when it's a catfish, like when they are literally 20 years older and look like a completely different person, like they have to be aware of that to some degree.
You're
like
so right.
That should be, I just think there's nothing wrong with saying like, hey, I'm not actually feeling this. I don't want to waste your time.
I like that.
I think that's good.
I have been back in my gaming era. Let me just say this. I have realized, instead of online shopping, I can just play some games on my phone and it gives me the same serotonin.
I was just going to say, Alisha is a big gamer. She, like the amount of nostalgia that you have for games that you love, like playing on your phone or just playing in general. So this is all you, girly.
I'm back in my game era, but specifically like the ones on my phone, because mobile games, they're easy to play. They make time go by fast, especially when they're like, charming graphics, laid back gameplay, and a story full of scandalous secrets. For the perfectly cozy game, download Love and Pies by Trail Mix Games for free. It's a casual Merge 2 game where you build your very own cafe, combine ingredients, and uncover a story of drama and romance, because we all know I need some of that in my life.
Wait, this game sounds perfect for me.
Cooking with Remy approved.
Cooking, romance, drama. Basically, you escape to your very own cozy countryside cafe in Appleton. You play as Amelia as you take over the old family cafe and restore it to its former glory. You can meet a diverse cast of characters as you uncover a family story full of secrets and laughs, and decorate your cafe and the surrounding area with beautifully designed items. This was literally made for me. Trail mix games are also great because they aim to create safe, empowering spaces for all players of all ages, so you don't have to worry about, anybody that's playing. And then with each beautiful game they create, they're fostering a culture of trust, respect, and creativity. So for a tasty mix of love and drama, download Love and Pies for free today. That's Love and Pies, free to download in the App Store or Google Play.
Oh my God. My friend Lexi went on a date recently. Oh my God. She talked about it on her stories. It was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. She basically said she goes out with this guy, goes out on a date, and it gets mad at her because he's like, oh, let's go to some place where we can like play pool or like, play games or something. So she's like, okay, like I know this fun bar. There's like cornhole, like bag toss, like that type of stuff. There's pool tables. There's like different options we can do. So they go to the bar to get the first round, and he makes a comment before she can even like discuss the like, oh, like let me like, how there's the go-to banter, the dance. They're like, let me pay for it. No. Like we'll split it. Or like, oh my God, no, I got it. It's fine. And then they're like, no, really, I got it. Like before doing that dance, he gets very upset at her and is like, I mean, I guess I'll get it even though I'm unemployed. And she was just like so taken aback. She was like, oh my God, like what? Here's the thing. That's fine. Like, that's fine. But like, why are you making me feel bad about it? Or like, I'm a chore. This date's a chore.
I'm inconveniencing
you. Like, she was just like, also, I didn't know that. Like you, that's fine.
Again, nothing wrong, but don't make me.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. But she was just like, I'm so confused because like you wanted to go out. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. And then he gets pissed at her because she's like, okay, let's sit down with our drinks and like chat, whatever. He's like, I thought we were playing games. And she's like, oh no, like we can, but like I figured we could vibe it out. Like we could chat. And he was like, like we can like, it's
get to know each other.
It's like that's part of it. Like we get our drinks, we sit, we chat, we have a good time. We like, let's play some pool, whatever. And then he is so visibly upset and starts going off on her, saying that she's so indecisive and doesn't know what she wants because she doesn't want to go play a game. Like dead ass. And she's like, no, I thought we could like,
why didn't she leave?
No, then he was like, I'm going to go get another drink. She's like thinking, I wonder if he'll get me a drink, but he probably won't. But like, let's see. He gets one drink. He doesn't come back with another one or even ask if she wants anything. And then finally she goes, you know what? I'm not clearly we're not feeling this. Like, I'm going to go.
Good for her.
So she left early.
Good for her.
But I was just like, dude, you would have thought he got broken up with that day.
He was like that. To get mad at someone on their first date, that's so sad.
And to like, she was gonna play games. It's not like she was like, we're not gonna play games.
But also good for like, I'm glad she got it figured out, weeded him out early.
Yes, she was just like, clearly this isn't going anywhere.
Damn.
Like I'm a head out.
Poor girl.
Where in that case, I feel like I would feel better doing that, like after a drink. But like, when first step going up to like, oof, that's hard. That's rough. Respect. Have you ever had to do that?
Do what?
Like you meet up for a date and then you like leave right off the bat. You know how you always tell friends, call me if you like need an excuse to get out. Have you ever had to do that?
No, I don't think I did. There were a couple where I was miserable. Oh, no. But luckily, like the worst date that I went on is the one that Eli and Bree showed up to. So that just added some theatrics to it. Should I tell that story again to those who forgot?
Oh, please.
So I was seeing this guy very shortly, literally 2 dates. And he was super nice, but just like not my type, but he was really nice. And I remember we went on this date and we were like it was miserable. I was at this dinner date and we were at this restaurant, shout out Running Goose in Hollywood. And it's like this little outdoor patio area. And I was sitting at the dinner and it felt like hours. And he was just going like, he was kind of quiet and he was just like talking on, but like slowly about things. And I was like, And then I remember I was getting up to leave and I was like, turn my back to walk out and I hear someone like say like, excuse me. And I like turn back and I see someone. I have it like ingrained in my head.
I wish I saw it.
I like see someone. I think they were like pointing at the chair, like as if like I left something. So I went back to look and I looked down at the chair and the guy is like ahead of me now. Like he was waiting and like holding the door open for me to leave. And I look down. I'm like looking around. I'm like, I don't see things. I like look up to say, like, I'm so sorry. And I look, and it's just my two friends staring at me with a blue wig and a purple wig and glasses on, like their menu like this. And I was like, oh my God. I said, I hate you. And I like threw a napkin at them or something, and I ran away. And it was honestly the funniest thing. And then when I saw them after, eventually they're like, that date sucked. I was like, they were listening.
So pissed.
They were listening at them.
Yeah,
I wasn't pissed.
Play the tape.
I wasn't pissed.
No, I remember afterwards you were mad, and I was so shocked because like, Remy, we've talked about this on the podcast. You always said that would be funny.
Oh my God, I was mad.
You were mad, and I remember being like, no, we've talked about the podcast like it'd be funny because did you know this? They FaceTime me before and they're like, come.
Yes.
They literally, I like almost went, but I was in.
I would have loved if you were there.
No, I like I wish I was there so bad.
I don't remember being mad because right after I went to a bar with him, and then I told him what happened. And then I remember I was telling him, I was like, oh yeah, like they did this, like let's prank them back and tell them that you were pissed. And he was like, okay. So I told them, and they were like, we're so sorry, we ruined it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, I was just
Someone
joking
please
around.
find me the audio tape of Remy being like, oh my God, that'd be so funny. And then it happening, her being like, oh my God,
I could have sworn I was embarrassed because like that is embarrassing.
that-
but I remember also saying like, since I was never going to see that guy again, like it was funny.
Yeah.
But like,
I feel like now in hindsight, it's like, hee hee hee.
it was like, I just vividly remember them. But yeah, that was the only date that I went on that was like bad.
You know what?
And it was funny at the
And
same
you got
time.
some content, baby content out of
Exactly. Yeah, no, that was like really the only one, I think. I blacked a lot out.
it. Really?
Yeah. Because I'm so in love with Cal now.
Obviously.
I've also been seeing, and you and I have talked about it quite a bit, this but this phenomenon that's being spoken about on TikTok of the idea of men deciding when they're, not deciding, but men wake up one day and realize that they're ready for marriage and kind of almost just marry the girl that is right in front of them.
Oh my God, yes. On TikTok, it's kind of like my For You page.
Me too, though.
No,
I think
yeah.
it's really interesting.
It's like basically there's a lot of people realizing like, oh my God, there's this idea that, like you said, men kind of date the woman in front of them instead of being like, oh my God, she's the one. It's more of like who happens to be in front of them when they decide they're ready to be in a committed relationship or like marriage.
Yeah.
So there's so many different thoughts and opinions, and I feel like it's interesting reading the comments on those. And it made me even think, I'm like, oh my God, what are my thoughts on this? You know?
Yeah.
Have you talked about it with Cal?
I did, yeah. I feel like everyone's a little jaded, obviously, from their own relationships and experiences that they've had. I did talk to Cal about it because I was just curious to know his point of view. And he was saying, he's like, I definitely think it's, and I agree with him, I think it's valid for, I'm sure, a lot of people. But at the same time, like, I mean, I've been in a relationship with Cal for 3.5 years, and I know we're going to get married or engaged and married because he wants to marry me and like chose to be with me. So I think it's just situational. Like, and like a lot of people are in my boat, or a lot of people are in maybe the boat that we're speaking about. It just like, there's so many other ways too.
That I was like, Alisha, what are your thoughts on this? And the main thing is, yes, I feel like it's so different for everyone. Everyone is jaded by their own personal experience. And I think what's getting a little lost with it is I really do think a lot of people are seeing this as like the stereotypical fuckboy who's like doesn't want a relationship, and then one day he like finally settles down, and like how that switch happens. But obviously it is so different because I've had friends who get married super young and, you know, they're fine, and then I have some people get married super young and then they're like, oh my God, that was a mistake, and then they get married like later or whatever. Like there's just so many different things. I do think there's a difference between, you know, how this is essentially like the if he wanted to he would situation, and I feel like even in that, it's if he wanted to, he would in dating versus marriage is very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think just like it's easy to kind of cloud everything together with your own jadedness and everything. I was so curious. I even talked to my sister's boyfriend because I was like, okay, you. At what point did you decide to get on the apps? Because they met on Hinge also. And I'm like, okay, at what point did you decide to like get on that? Like what made you get on, you know? And he goes, you know, one day I realized, this literally confirms everything. He goes, you know, one day I kind of was like, wow, it's been a while since I've been in a long-term relationship. 3 weeks later, matches with my sister and they're in love. Yeah. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, is that what it's like to be a guy? And he was like, I don't know. I think just one day, like all my friends started like kind of getting in more serious relationships. And then some were getting engaged, some were now getting married. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think I'm ready for that. And that literally confirmed this whole idea.
I believe it. I mean, when you think of someone like George Clooney, who was like the quintessential,
yes.
like, yeah, not a fuckboy, but he was just like, I mean, maybe he was. He was just like having girlfriends, hanging out, doing all these things.
And he publicly said he would never get married.
Yeah, and then he met the girl and got married. I do think there's a difference though between what we're saying of like it being more on the guy side of like waking up and being like, I'm ready, and then picking a girl versus like waking up. I think they're like actually, so sorry. For George Clooney, I think it was a culmination of two things. I think it was specifically Amal, who sounds like an incredible woman.
Oh, and she's
stunning and intelligent and amazing. So I understand also, I'm not to say that any girl he saw before wasn't, but maybe there's just a je ne sais quoi where he was like, I love her, can't let her go. Mixed with also him probably waking up one day and being like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that.
Here I'm going to see another side too. I'm like, I really feel like a lot of it has to do with how even a guy is raised. And obviously we're talking about like in a straight relationship, but like as a guy's raised by his family, like if his parents got married young, I feel like he's probably pictured himself getting married young and having a similar trajectory of like how his parents did. Or like, I remember even thinking I'd be married at 24 because my mom was married at 24. Or maybe like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of, I don't know, like you have an idea of like what you think your life is going to kind of like be like.
There's also throwing into that though, like going off of that, family pressure, societal pressures, all those things that add to it too. I do think at the end of the day, I'm sure a lot of men fall into that pit of what we're talking about, but there's also a lot of men who marry because they're absolutely fucking in love with their beautiful, stunning, gorgeous 3/4 Korean, quarter Chamorro Asian girlfriend.
Yes. Oh my God. No, yeah. I feel like, I don't know. This is such an interesting topic.
I do think this is an ongoing conversation. We can chat about it more, but things are always changing too. I know guys from my past / also guys that I see who I think fall into this for sure.
The best person I can talk to about this is my brother, which everyone's like, you have a brother? I'm like, yes, I have a brother. I've mentioned him in videos. But he's 10 years older. And for a long time, he was like, yeah, like marriage kind of like scares me. I don't know. So like, Matt, I love you. You broke some hearts. I think you were a fuckboy at one point, but it's okay. You know, we've grown. But what's interesting was seeing it from like a sibling side is I saw how much he was like, no, I want to be able to like provide for my wife. Like, I think a lot of men also have that pressure of like, you're the man of the house. You have to provide, you have to have enough money. You have to like, and I think a lot of men get like, this entire trend is women overthinking how men think, basically.
Yeah, when men don't think.
They don't think.
No, they wake up and they're like, I'm ready to be married.
I feel like they just go off their feelings where they're like, instead of being like, oh, I'm not ready for marriage, they're just like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And then when one day they're like,
I want that.
Yeah.
Where
women are like, why don't they want that? And they want this and they think this, but maybe he's really thinking this deep down and like in reality. But I do think that societal pressure of you're the man of the house, you have to be prepared, you have to like be ready. And like, I think that's a huge thing for girls. We're like, we get to be engaged. But I think for guys, they're like, wow, like I'm going to be the man of the house. Like it's weird, you know?
And it's a huge commitment. I mean, your brother ended up getting married at one point. Like what was that turning point for him?
I think for him, he was like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm just ready to settle down. I should have him on the pod.
Yeah. Was he seeing his ex-wife at the time when he decided or?
Yeah. So like they were dating and he was like, oh, I think I could see a future with you is a huge thing. And obviously this is one situation. And then, he was like, yeah, I just think I'm ready. And I was just like, really? So like this other girl, I remember you broke her heart. Ooh, you broke her heart. I won't out that on the internet. But I'm like, it's interesting seeing like you just weren't ready then. But I'm like, no, this is, I don't know. I just feel like we're so different. Like we overthink everything.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I know for me personally, like any crush I have, I'm like, oh my God, like I could see it happening. Like, oh my God. I'm like, do guys think that way? Probably not. Are they just like, I'm just vibing?
If you are listening to this and maybe you're engaged or going to be engaged or you're already married or dating someone that you think you're going to marry, also speaking if marriage is something that you want, because obviously marriage isn't for everybody and you can do whatever you want with your life. But speaking specifically towards this TikTok trend, don't listen to this and think like, oh, am I only married to him because it was the right timing for him? Am I only engaged because like he woke up one day and decided that he wanted to get engaged? Like, no, because I hear all this. And I know when I get engaged, we're getting engaged because we want a life together and I feel so secure in that. So don't question that. Don't let this make you feel any sort of way. I just think there are certain men that this does apply to, but definitely not everybody.
Yeah, I really see this trend being towards the typical like fuckboy in college who's just having a good time. And then when he's finally like, oh, I am ready for like that chapter of my life. That's kind of how I see this trend. So I know everyone sees it differently. And obviously it's different.
So sorry.
Oh, no, yeah.
Also, to interject with that, though, there are some fuckboys that I feel like to the girls that are marrying, you know what? Maybe I'm changing my perspective.
I mean, that's why I was like, maybe my thoughts were wrong on these.
Well, maybe me too. And this is an ongoing conversation, but then I could see how maybe someone's listening and maybe their husband was an ex-fuckboy and they're like, well, was I the girl? No, my heart breaks for them because I don't think you should think that.
No. See, that's where I'm kind of like torn on this because I do think it's so like situational. Like I think it depends on the person and all this stuff. I also think this kind of goes both ways because like there's times where you're like, you know what, I'm just having fun. I'm just, you know, having fun hitting the town. And like, there's times I've ghosted guys and it's nothing about them. I'm just like, or like, don't want to, you know what I mean?
No, I know. I'm really thinking hard now about how I feel. I am ending currently how I feel today, putting a pin in it, that everything is situational. There are some cases, you know how like a lot of times things are exceptions to the rule. Mm-hmm. And like there's a standard that usually happens 99% of the time, but there's that 1% that maybe something else might happen. To me, this is broken up into 10% this, 10% that, 10% this. So like it changes for everything.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, do not think that your husband or fiance or boyfriend or whoever it may be proposed to you or whatever because of they woke up and one day decided like it's convenient now. Don't think that you're a convenience.
I think my take right now is because I see two sides to everything. I think I can honestly see this trend and be like, fuck that trend. But then I can also see this trend and be like, oh my God, no, it makes sense. Like I honestly can see both sides to it.
I think also no one will fully know an answer ever because I can't imagine it's a conscious decision for anybody.
Honestly, I think this actually does give me some, not solace, but like some clarity of like, you just can't want something more for someone else if they don't want it. Like you can't change someone. I think as a girl looking into my next relationship, like if he is not ready for marriage, that's fine, but that's not a reflection of me. Do you know what I mean? The same way, oh my God, full circle that Sarah's like, hey, if you're not ready, that's fine. But like I am ready for that. And I'm going to go find it somewhere else. Like it's less, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I really feel like that kind of like comes full circle. It's like, hey, if you're not ready for that, that's fine. But it's nothing about me. It's that you just aren't ready for commitment. And I think commitment is a huge thing that people are terrified of.
I was going to say we were speaking marriage because that's what the trend was, but same goes for dating.
Yeah.
If you're seeing a guy after a few dates and they don't want to make it official, then
it's
and that's what you want.
You.
No.
Oh my God, it's just on them. It's literally projection of them like, oh, this scares me. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, run. Like, commitment.
Yeah. Well, it could be a commitment issue or it could literally just be like, they're like, oh, our personalities don't mesh. It's just for some reason it may not work, but don't try and force someone into something because you think it's going to fit so perfectly and work, because I feel like if anything, it's like a sign from the universe that it's just not going to happen, and that's okay.
Yeah, just don't be hard on yourself, because I feel like I have seen responses of girls being like feeling down about themselves, like, oh, so why is it all up to the guy? And it's like, no, like, no, the whole point is that you don't wait around for those guys.
We're taking the power back.
You're taking the power back. You are like, you know what? If that's your journey, that's fine. But like, I know what I want. I know what I'm, be real with this is a full circle episode. Be real with yourself. Why are you dating? What do you want? And if you want marriage, then have your filters to get rid of the people who don't want that. You know what I mean? And as hard as it is.
Not even just marriage, though.
Yes.
Long-term relationship.
Yes.
Literally anything. Long-distance relationship. Literally anything. Know what you want and then don't sway on that.
And don't sway on your non-negotiables, and realize that like there are people who will meet those non-negotiables. But you got to filter through, like a little coffee machine, filter through it.
Even if you want to just have fun, you can still have filters on too.
Yes, that's the whole point. Like whatever it is. Whatever it is, whatever your little heart desires, we love here at Pretty Basic. I hope this episode was insightful, and I can't wait to read the comments and read all the discussion, our little family in the comments.
Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to come back next week for another one, and we'll catch you then. Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe.